Welcome. I am Ian Lowe, someone who has spent the last several years thinking hard about what AI actually demands of the humans working alongside it. This video is about one of the most underrated professional skills in an AI-saturated world: the ability to interrogate AI output rather than accept it. AI systems produce confident, fluent, well-structured text. They also hallucinate. They fabricate citations. They present outdated guidance as current. And they do all of this in language that is designed, not deliberately, but structurally, to pass your credibility checks. If you have already watched video 1 of this series, you know why that happens. If you are starting here, it does not matter. Everything you need is in this video. In the next 10 minutes, I will give you a practical framework for verifying AI output. Explain the 3 failure modes that catch even careful professionals, and walk you through a moment I run in every class that tends to produce an uncomfortable silence. Let us get into it. I want to show you something. This is an article about AI in the workplace. It is well written. It is well structured. It references named research institutions, specific statistics, and a peer-reviewed journal. In my class, I give students this article as pre-reading and ask them to come prepared to discuss it. Then at the start of the session, I tell them, the article you read last night was written by AI. The reactions are always the same. Silence. Then embarrassment. Then, and this is the important part, curiosity. Because even students who were suspicious, who noticed something slightly off, usually cannot say exactly what. The article was designed to pass a surface credibility check. And for most people, it does. This is the problem I want to talk about today. We have spent our whole lives learning to trust certain surface signals in written text. Clear structure. Precise language. Named sources. Hedged academic phrasing. These signals developed as reliable proxies for credibility because, until very recently, producing them required either genuine expertise or significant effort. AI destroys that proxy. A language model can produce every surface signal of credibility in seconds, while saying something that is completely wrong. The structure is not a signal of quality. The precision is not a signal of accuracy. The named journal is not a signal that the study exists. In my article, I cited a 2021 study from the Journal of Applied Psychology finding that decision-making quality declines by 28% after 6 hours of sedentary work. The Journal of Applied Psychology is real. That statistic is real-sounding. That study does not exist. How many people would catch that on a first read? Not many. Because it is exactly what a real citation looks like. So what do you actually do about this? You need a verification framework that is fast enough to use in practice and rigorous enough to catch the important failures. I use an adapted version of something called SIFT. 5 steps. Stop. Before you accept or use an AI output, pause. Notice your instinct to accept it. That pause is not delay. It is the first professional act. Investigate. What is the actual source of each claim? The AI generated the text. Where did the underlying information come from? This is a different question. Find. Does this claim appear in multiple credible independent sources? Not multiple AI outputs making the same claim. Independent sources. Because AI systems trained on similar data will produce similar hallucinations. Trace. Follow the claim back to its origin. Does the origin actually support the use being made of it? AI frequently takes a real finding and overstates it. The source is real. The conclusion being drawn from it is not. And the 5th step, which I have added for AI specifically. Check plausibility. What could this model not have known? What context was absent when it generated this? What year is its training cutoff? 5 steps. Stop. Investigate. Find. Trace. Check. In practice, there are 3 failure modes that catch even careful people. The first is fabricated precision. The moment an AI output contains a specific percentage, a named author, a journal title, and a year, all in one sentence, it looks maximally credible. That precision is a surface feature. The model learned to produce it because real citations look that way. But a number that sounds precise is not necessarily a number that is real. The second is plausible wrongness. The fabricated study about decision-making in sedentary work that I mentioned earlier is a perfect example. That finding is consistent with things you believe. It does not contradict your existing knowledge. The mechanism makes intuitive sense. These are exactly the conditions under which you lower your guard. The most dangerous AI errors are not the ones that feel wrong. They are the ones that feel right. The third is currency failure. AI systems have training cutoffs. In fast-moving domains, AI itself, regulatory frameworks, geopolitics, medical guidance. Information from 18 months ago can be materially wrong without being false in the traditional sense. The model is accurately reporting what was true when it was trained. The world has moved. These 3 failure modes require 3 different verification habits. And building those habits requires deliberate practice, not just awareness. I want to be honest about something. Some of what I have just described will become less relevant as AI systems improve. World models. The next generation of AI architecture I mentioned in the first video will reduce hallucinations significantly. Because they have a grounded causal model of how things work. They have a mechanism for checking whether what they are producing is internally consistent. The fabricated citation problem shrinks. The plausible wrongness problem shrinks. But verification does not become irrelevant. It shifts. The question moves from "is this factually correct?" to "is this causal reasoning valid, given a model of the world I cannot inspect?" The instinct you are building now transfers. The specific techniques need updating. And one thing that never goes away: the habit of pausing before accepting confident-sounding output. That is not a verification technique. That is a professional disposition. It was necessary before AI, and it will be necessary after the current generation of problems is solved. The people who will be professionally dangerous in an AI-saturated world are not the ones who refuse to use these tools. They are the ones who use them with open eyes. Who know that fluency is not accuracy. Who have trained themselves to pause before they accept. Build that pause. Make it a reflex. In the next video, I am going to make a controversial argument. Prompt engineering is not the skill you should be developing. The real skill, the one that is actually durable, is learning to manage AI agents. And that is not a technical skill. It is closer to management than it is to writing. I am Ian Lowe. See you in the next one.